it? What is it? Let me get your toy ready. Here it is. Here it is. Let's do over here. There you go, Bubba. Oop. Hi, I'm Branddy Walter, and this is Hound Dog Hollow. Long time no see. Just an impromptu live while I attempt to deal with this front room. Hi, Lisa. I'm also gonna post really quick on my Facebook page and my Instagram that I'm live now. Hi, Sachi. Oh, we're good. It's just been a lot, and I have energy today. So, what, bud? Of course, he's not. What is that smell? I feel like I smell like scorch, but I'll keep an eye on it. God, we're great. Baby's healthy. I'm okay. Surviving. You know how it is when they're really little. Just trying to clean the monstrosity room. Also, just wanting to. Okay, hold on. I don't think he's gonna let me clean. You gonna let me clean, or you gonna poop us? What do you think? Okay. He ain't gonna let me do it. But what was I don't know. I feel like I smell scorch. I hope that nothing's out of whack, but I don't have anything on. So basically I'm just trying to tidy in here because my mom and my sisters are going to be here, in a couple weeks, and it takes me forever. And I still haven't cleaned up for Christmas because, for those of you who don't know, I had my baby on the solstice, the 21st. Hi, Mom. Oh, God. He's a hair puller. Oh, so I need to at least get the beds open for Titi Lexus or Titi Dulcie and Titi Sierra to sleep in, because they can't all sleep with Mom. And of course, Crazy ain't having it, huh? You're not having it. I'm also let me turn this off because he's not playing with it. Okay. So, oh, God bless it, Crater. No. Sorry. What are you doing? Is that you? Let me see. So I've got like a lot of candles in here that I bought. So let me tell you something. When I was late in my pregnancy and early postpartum, I did a lot of online shopping. I did. So I got a box of candles and a box of candles and a bag of candles and a box from Bath and Body Works and like Christmas boxes here. And then this whole table is covered with stuff. And then my husband stacked all this crap in this corner. And then I literally still have, I think, like witchy boxes from like July that have not been opened or reviewed over there. I do want to review them just for continuity's sake. So it has like a huge block of everything that I ever got. And then, yeah, that's it for right now. What do you think, Bubba? What do you think? So basically, I'm back at work. I've been back at work for like 2 months now. And I go to work part-time for right now for the next couple months, and that's been something. And so we are eating and nursing, and got lots of wonderful, exciting things coming up on the horizon. But it involves me mustering up my strength um, to move and to do stuff, because it feels like you just barely get any of your minimal tasks done when you have one hand. um, and it leads to lots of thinking, like, at least for me, like deep philosophical thinking about um, basically my life and its meaning. Because then sometimes when you're really overwhelmed and it seems like you have too much to do, and you seems like it's always something and there's always some obstacle, you start to get resentful. And then there are times when I come home from taking care of other people all day, and I get home to my children, and one of them is talking nonstop to me, and the other one is attached to me, eating me up, and like this. Ah, he's biting me. Baby attack. And you start to think like, God, I just wish I could do something, do anything, and I have to remind myself that society has, not just society, but my own neurotic need to be productive, need to be busy, has convinced me that there's more important things to do than to be with my children. And so I have to regroup and be like, oh, you're the most important thing right now. And I'm going to enjoy this moment because you're only little for like the blink of an eye. I mean, yeah. Let me nurse him really quick. All right. And so if I'm always talking about being present in your life, then that also means being present in the parts that pinch and feel scarce and tight and wonderful at all at the same time, right? This is just a moment, and it's tiring and exhausting, and it takes every last drop of you, and showing up with a good attitude is hard a lot of the time. And I don't think that we were meant to do this alone, without a village, without your mom or your sisters or your mother-in-law or whoever helping you. Which is why I think we evolved to live in family groups. But at any rate, I digress. The point is, if I want to live my life, I have to really be comfortable in these tight moments. These moments where I feel like, God, I wish I could do anything. I wish I could cook a meal. I wish I could shower by myself. I wish I could read a book. I wish I could, do my astrology workbook that I bought for myself for Christmas. And I have to redirect my thoughts to say, no, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing right now, because this person is going to be a little baby dependent on me for a very finite moment in my life. And I will miss this when it's gone. And the lesson being, hi, Dulcie. The lesson being, like, we can't spend our whole life wishing for the next thing, or else we're going to miss the things that matter. So yes, I do wish I could go on trips, and I do wish that I could have hobbies and read books and get the garden in. But I know in a few years' time, I'm going to miss his little face. I'm going to miss nursing him. I'm going to miss my little goober here being tiny and being dependent, and just my other son just like wanting to talk to me all the time. It's definitely a season. And I strongly advocate that you lean into whatever season of your life that you're in, because even if it is an uncomfortable season, it'll have sweetness, but it'll also teach you a lot of lessons. Thank you. So that's where I've been. But it also leads me back to a concept that I've really been ruminating on, which is scarcity mindset. And I think about scarcity mindset, or I used to think about scarcity mindset in terms of prosperity and money and abundance and success and really tangible physical resources. And I prided myself on my optimism and my everything that is meant for me will come to me, and my generosity with my time and my money and my efforts and with the people that I love, and with strangers. I felt like I was in a really good place about flow, that if I give, things will come back to me. And that was something that I thought I had, a lesson I had thought I had learned. But then when I'm tired and when I have things that I have to do and when the children are stuck to me for 20 hours a day and my husband is in a similar boat but with different tasks, I start to realize that we get sharper with each other and we get more impatient. And then it hit me that I have scarcity mindset over my time, over the perceived lack of time, because time is a really valuable resource. People will say to you, oh, everybody has the same 24 hours. And that is not true. Rich people have the same 24 hours, but they have the funds to pay for somebody to do the shitty things that they don't want to do, to clean their house, to clean their cars, to do their yardscaping, to watch their baby occasionally, sometimes to cook their meals, to do their shopping. Um, so even just having a car versus riding the bus is time that can be bought, right? You're saving time by spending money on a different resource. So then I start to think like I am feeling really scarce in time. I'm feeling a lot of lack, and it's not bringing out the best in me. It's making me feel really down. And of course, when you have a baby, you feel really down, or you can feel really down anyway, because your hormones are all out of whack. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, it's right there. Your hormones are all out of whack. And also, there's somebody touching you all the time. And that does lead to overstimulation. I get overstimulated from it. That there's somebody always wanting of you and wanting of you and wanting of you and wanting of you. And you're giving as much as you can in the order of what you think is important, right? So my baby, then my son, then my husband, and then everything else. And I try to be in that order, but let's be real. If I've gone to work, it's probably my job, my baby, my child, and then my husband last, which sucks because he's the one person in the world who's sharing this burden with me, who's really in the trenches with me about this scarcity of our time. Um, and of course, it's a season, but when you're in a season that feels really uncomfortable, it seems like it's the whole world. But the days are going by so fast, and it's been months since I've connected with you guys, and it feels like it's been forever since I've connected or done anything like for myself. Like for right now, luxury is like, can you watch the baby so I can go to the grocery store by myself? And a lot of times, I just rather take the baby to the grocery store with me, because he's okay most of the time, huh? You okay most of the time, unless you're hungry, and then if we don't pull that theta out, we are gonna have a brawl. So the thought that I've been ruminating on is that scarcity comes with everything in life that we value. And until recently, I did not realize how much I valued my time to pursue things that interest me, to do things that are important to me, to learn and grow and just be a person, be an adult, be an independent person, because right now we are two people, but we are conjoined twins. um, so I've been thinking about that a lot. And I've been thinking about my relationship with my husband, my relationship with myself, my relationship with my children. I especially think about my mom, um, grinding this out without a second person to kind of share the burden. And it's unfathomable to me how difficult that must have been, um, and how hard it is for moms to give so much to their kids when they are feeling that pinch, that they don't have enough. Hello, that there isn't enough. There isn't enough time. There isn't enough hands. There isn't enough anything. Like, oh my gosh, there isn't enough of me. Yeah. And that is kind of a scary thought. And it's a humbling thought too, because we're all in the trenches together. All these moms before me, all these moms at the same time as me, and all these moms in the future, all these parents, I should say, in the future. Yes. Will you be good and play in your play area? I'm trying not to say things like will you be good? Because all babies are good. Babies don't tend to be felons. What I'm saying when I say to my children, are you going to be good? Most of the time I'm saying, are you going to be easy? Are you going to comply? Are you going to let me do what I want to do? And that's really unfair. So I'm working on it. Yes, thank you. So, and I know that it's been an eclipse season, and it's been, um, the astrological new year, and there's like all of these changes for all of us, and the nodes are fixing to change. So, where we're going to have big shifts in our life, depending on where they are in your chart, are going to be moving. Where you are in your physical time of your life, and the literal turning of the wheel, always going forever and ever. Amen. It's probably bringing up a lot of things for all of us. For me, is that I need to be really, really honest with myself when I'm setting these goals. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. When I'm setting all these goals, right? A lot of the time I'm setting myself up for failure because I'm setting all these goals that are not aligned with my values, right? My value is that I prayed for this. I chose this. I prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed for these children and this opportunity to be their mother. And if I'm setting goals on everything in the whole world and getting disappointed and frustrated with myself when I'm not making progress on those goals because I'm raising my children, then I'm setting myself up for failure, and I'm not even aligning myself with my actual values, which is to be their mom and to be a husband to my spouse, or a husband, to be a wife to my husband, to be a good family member, a good sibling. So then I have to say, I realistically can't do it all. I can't do it all. And that's okay. And everything that's meant for me will come to me. And all the things that I'm meant to be doing will show up when it's time. But right now, it's time to pull those resources in and to just keep myself afloat so that I can, best utilize my resources. And that has been really hard. So when I had my baby, it was solstice, right? Which is, for a lot of people, the new year. So, right, the beginning of the light side of the year. And then my mama came to stay with us for a couple weeks to help with the baby, thank God, because I was, by the time she came, I hadn't slept in a week, and my husband was like, you're hallucinating, you have to stop. So I was very blessed with that. And we basically, my mom slept next to me and the baby for 2 weeks. And because I had a C-section. So it was more comfortable for me. And at one point, because I they've come over for Christmas before, and I love to do like an end of year journaling and like reflection and goal setting and all this stuff. And even my mom was like, "What, you normally do all this stuff?" And I was like, "I'm just trying to to exist. I'm just trying to exist. Like I'm not okay, I guess, but I was okay when she was with me. But I just felt like, okay, today my goals are I'm going to take a shower. We're going to cook a meal. Those were my basic goals. We did manage to watch one video for Chris Corsini, but I kid you not, my end of year reflection and journaling and goal setting, I didn't finish until like literally Aries season. And I was just beating myself up about it, and I felt really stuck because I hadn't gotten those steps done. But part of me is logical and reminding myself this is your time of rest. This is the moment where you're in yourself. You just had a huge event. You just made a human. You're feeding the human. You're caring for the human. You still have another human that you're responsible for. Like yeah, I try to redirect myself because sometimes my thought process is really demanding and cruel. Ooh, he's Putin. Hey. So I busted out all these goals, and for the most part, they're pretty stable goals. But then I start thinking of things like, oh man, I wish I could do this. Oh man, I would love to work on this project. Oh my God, I'm going to have this huge garden, which I don't even know why I would think that because I couldn't do a garden when I had a school aged child. What am I going to do with the baby? So it's been a balance. And then, of course, there's the body image. Like, when am I going to fit into cute clothes? When is my weight going to go back down? When is this, that, and the other? And so it's been like a struggle to be like, okay, I'm going to the gym to get stronger and healthier. And it doesn't matter what the scale says per se, because literally it means nothing. I don't know why I fixate on it. And it doesn't matter. Like, I have nice clothes. I look nice when I try to look nice. So why am I putting this thing in my head that I just have to look a certain way and I have to be a certain way and I have to weigh a certain amount and I have to do these activities? It's just, I'm going to tell you, as a new mom, I'm not a new mom. This is obviously my second kid, but the hormones are still there. Like a lot of the pressure that we put on ourselves is all in our head, but the voices in our head are the programming that we're getting, that we need to do all of these things. You just have to keep the baby alive. He's alive. He doesn't necessarily like playing by himself, but he is alive. And I've got this bed almost clear. I've been ruminating, sorry. And then at some point I'm going to get to this corner. I'm not promising anything. What? Here, let's put you on your two-tongue and see how long it takes you to get right back up. And we're going to put this down so you have a little more space. And I got a couple weeks. We just redid my other little boy's room, my older son's room. And so part of that was taking down my shelves, my stuff off of the shelves so that he could have the shelves. And so this whole bed is covered with books. So I need to get that cleared out so I can wash all the sheets for my mother. And then this bed I need to get cleared out so I can wash all the sheets for my sister. And then this table, I need to get cleared out so they can have space for their things. And probably the nightstand I need to get cleared out so they can have space for their things. I gotta throw them flowers out. I bought my mom flowers when she was here last time. They're still here. I have decided that my practice has changed really profoundly. And so I'm going to be letting go of a lot of stuff. The main thing I'm going to start posting on my Facebook here, if I can get any energy tonight, is I noticed that I have about 50 decks. I don't know, probably more, maybe less. 50 decks. And I think to myself, which ones do I actually use? which ones do I pull down and play with, look at, are meaningful to me. I really need to go through that and put the rest of them up for sale on my Facebook, because some of them are immensely beautiful, like Kickstarters, or really rare ones, or just beautiful, but not at all what I'm using. And I feel like in this cycle, I really need to pull my energy back and stop. Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. And get some of this stuff out of my house, because I cast my net for a few years, right? I cast my net really far and wide and just wanted to buy everything and try everything and read everything and whoa, and learn about a whole bunch of different things. And that's totally great. It started probably the year my son was turning 3. And finally, he was getting a little bit more independent, and I had more use of my hands, and he was more fun for my husband to play with. And we had a little bit more money. And so I was able to say, like, okay, I really want to learn about this. And I'm going to try this, and I'm going to buy this, and I'm going to, dive into this. And it was great. It was really great. I loved it. And a lot of the products and the boxes and the things I still absolutely endorse and recommend, and you should totally try it out at least once. Try it out. It's fun. And you might learn something. But then I kind of said, like, okay, I'm really settling into certain things that I really like and that really resonate deeply with me and are really meaningful to me. So I'm really into astrology. You guys probably all know. Um, and more practical folk practices are forefront. I'm not into ceremonial stuff. I'm not even really into most, um, like, I guess, you know, hmm, mainstream witchcraft anymore. Like, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things, simple things, like I have a daily practice, and I can go into that in the future because I really would like to chat more with other people. And I really do need to go do my blog, because, good Lord, I've been paying for that thing for years and I haven't put up a blog. I've been paying for my website for a long time and I haven't put up a blog in a really long time. And I think it might help other people who are like in the same phase as me. They don't have time, or they don't have money, or they feel overwhelmed, or their kids are really little, or they feel lost, or there's so much choice that it's hard to make a choice. And for a while I swam in those waters, and then I got really discouraged by the community at large. Because there's a lot of people out there that want to tell you that your communion with spirit, however that looks for you, um, needs to look a certain way, or has rules, or is this, that, and the other. And then, to a certain extent, yes, but to a certain extent, no. It's so deeply personal. Um, you wouldn't tell somebody how to be intimate with their partner. You might give them some general advice, like the mechanics, the basics, maybe some variations they may try, but ultimately, people have to work that out for themselves. And I think that spiritual practice is a lot like that, and raising kids is a lot like that, and hell, gardening, everything you're going to do, cooking, is a lot like that. There's only so much that rules and instructions and structure can give you. Ultimately, practicing and your values and what connects with you and deeply and moves you and gives you what it is you're looking for, which is that connection, is going to be the rule. Huh, Bubby? I should put my hair up because you're gonna pull it. You're gonna pull it. Oh, you want to play with your toy, but you don't want to lay down. Okay. Here, I'll hold you up right here so that you can play with it without laying down. He really likes to stand. So I spread my net far and wide. I bought tons of stuff, tons of stuff, tons of stuff, tons of stuff. And then I realized, like, I'm only doing certain things regularly. Am I going through incense like it's going out of style? Mm-hmm. But only specific incense, because I don't like flower smells and stuff like that. Am I cleansing with smoke? Sure. But honestly, I don't go through a smoke wand very quickly, so I don't need 50 of them. Um, am I doing the occasional working with candles? Yep. But again, I don't need 70 candles. I won't go through 70 candles in the last 5 years that I've been doing this. I'm constantly getting rid of candles and I'm constantly buying candles. I'm addicted. Um, I won't connect with spirit in the same ways that other people do. And so I have to really navigate that. And so it ends up ultimately that I need to cut back on what it is that I'm doing so that I can do what I believe in, what moves me more fully. Um, and for me, things that I really, if I had a perfect day, I would write my dreams down. I would light an incense and I like to cleanse the little room and cleanse myself and my kids and my husband. Just get us a good start for the day. I like to do to read Ancestor Said every morning. And Himi Aura is the shit. And I can't wait till her second edition comes out because it's going to be the book Ancestors Said with a guide on ancestral veneration, which I absolutely trust her. She's fabulous. If you, a lot of the quotes from the book, almost all of them actually, you can see from following her Instagram page, Himi Aura. Amazing. Just amazing. I love her. And so Ancestors Said, um, affirmation work, because I've noticed that the power of your words really, the power not just of your spoken word, but the words that you're thinking in your head are really powerful. And if I tell myself, man, this is going to shit, man, I feel bad, man. I have this negative talk and negative begets negative, and then I get bad feelings, right? And of course, we're not having toxic positivity. Some days it is a shit sandwich and you got to eat it, but you don't have to romanticize it, right? I'm not saying that. Feel your feelings. But for me, if I can at least say, today I'm going to navigate challenges gracefully, then that will at least set me off on a good tone, better than just being like, oh my God, I'm dreading today. So for me, that's a mind setting practice. Check out the astrology for the day. I love Chani. I love Kiara Stellar. I love Celestia Bruja. I have my little goals for the day. My little my little productivity. That's like usually my morning, listening to some music, moving my body, getting outside. And then in the evening, journaling, lighting the ofrenda, and just connecting. I like to keep flowers and clean water there. And, saying my rosary. Um, I love that if I can get to it. If I can get to reading something, a chapter of a book that I'm really trying to get through. There's so many good ones out right now, but I promised myself I wasn't going to buy it until I got through the damn near 200 books that I have already, which is why I'm probably going to sell a whole bunch of these books because I'm not, I'm not even really, I don't know why I bought a lot of these books. So stay tuned for that as well. Um, and just thinking about what I believe in and what my values are and how I want that to show up in my life, and just doing reflective work. That's been my goal right now. I'm really in a season of my life where I'm fallow. My field has been, I've made my fruit, and now I have to regenerate because it's a very exhausting and challenging process. But I didn't just make my fruit. I have a child. I have a new career. I graduated from my master's degree. And there's a lot. There's a lot I need to get rid of because they don't resonate with me anymore. Um, and I want to talk more about what is resonating with me, because it's not like really super big change. It's not like, oh, I don't believe in any of this stuff and this is all wrong. It's just like, okay, the way that it comes out in books is really um I'm not going to say theatrical. I'm trying to look for the word. It's hard to think when you're holding a baby. Um, it's not really theatrical that I'm looking for. What am I looking for, Papa? Whimsy, not whimsy. Just like not necessarily practical or intuitive. And I've discovered that I really just like mundane stuff that even I grew up with. So I've always been really careful with my dreams, and so are my mom and my sisters, and we've all been gifted with occasional prophetic dreams and things like that. I've always loved astrology, and um, I'm very much into saints and the Virgin Mary and Jesus, and those are representations of divine energy to me, right? But the concept, the concept, I think is the same. We're all looking for the same thing. How can we connect with divine? How can we be present in our lives? How can we honor nature and justice and truth and philosophy and morality and fate? All of these. What do you think? What do you think? He's like, I want to face my toy. I want to face my toy. Yeah. Um, so nothing's changed really dramatically. And I'd like to kind of like circle back to that in the future. But I am into meatier, deeper topics, um, which isn't necessarily fun or flashy or mainstream. And that's good. That's okay with me. I want to have my practice be really intimate and personal, but also practical and something I can imagine, you know, myself doing forever, but also my kids doing after me and my ancestors doing before me. So a lot of the time, tending a garden, right? Growing a plant, tending my sick, praying, um, feeding my family, raising animals, um, just just living a certain way, I guess. It's not funny. So just stay tuned. I'm gonna purge. I'm gonna purge. I have to find everything first, but I am gonna purge. I think what I'll keep is probably I use incense on the daily, candles daily. Um, I have my altars set up daily, and I refresh them weekly. So I have a daily practice, and I have a weekly practice, and I have a practice for each aspect. And even with a little baby, I try to do it. So weekly, when I'm doing my grocery shopping, I get flowers for the ofrenda. And then when I have the flowers, I chop them up, I put them on the thing, I tidy it up, I clean the glass. They got fresh water, they got beautiful flowers, and they got my thoughts and prayers. And that's a lot for a new mom. um, and what other things? Crystals, but not all the crystals. I think just I'm going to really cut back on the crystals. So stay tuned for that. If I can't look at that crystal and instantly tell you what its name is and what it's doing, it's going. So stay tuned for that because there's a box somewhere around here that is absolutely full of crystals and I can't tell you half of them. And that's okay. I could probably look him up. But obviously, if I have a dozen or two that I intimately connected with and I go to and I know what I want, and I'm like thinking, oh, the new moon in Taurus is coming up and I'm going to do a prosperity something. I don't know what it is. I'm going to plant a plant maybe, and I'm going to need some pyrite to put it in it. So then I know, like, okay, I have my go-to working. I have my go-to thing that I do for whatever moon cycle it is. I have my go-to crystal. And even if I would to think about it, what would I do for prosperity? I'd probably or success. I've got a carnelian, maybe I've got some citrine, I've got some pyrite, and then naturally things would come to mind that would be just so Bailey for victory because of the laurels, right? Um, it would just flow naturally, and part of me is like really proud of myself that I'm at that point where I just know what I need. And the other part of me is like, if I know what I need, then the things that I don't need to go so that I can go to somebody who needs them. And so that's where we are. but part of it feels really exhausting. And part of it feels kind of icky because sometimes you buy things with these intentions and you put all these thoughts and prayers and hopes and wishes in an item that you bought. That someday I'm going to do this, and someday I'm going to learn this, and someday I'm going to fill this whole book of shadows up and I'm going to hand it down as an heirloom. And then when it comes time to, what do you think? Is that so? Okay, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Is that okay? Or do you want a nurse? Are you hungry? Let me see. Uh-oh, you burping. When it comes time to letting go of those things, you kind of either A, don't do it because you're still holding on to those hopes, or B, you kind of feel like a failure almost. Like, I was going to do this and I had all these plans and that didn't come through. And it's not just for, I think it's for all sorts of things that we buy. So this year, I went through my seeds and my garden stuff, and I went through a seed swap, and I just donated tons and tons of seeds. And then there was a guy on Craigslist who was hoping to trade seeds for like little planters or something. Hey, do you want to nurse? If you want to play with your toy, you have to lay with your toy. I can't just hold you in front of the toy. Here, do you want to lay with your toy? Here's your toy. So he came and took the seeds, like $100 worth of seeds. But the beautiful thing is he just texted me recently that he planted them and he has lots of plants and he wants to give me some. So it worked out beautifully. But in my heart, I felt like so like down on myself. Like, oh, I had all these plans and I just never got to them. And the seeds are not good forever, right? They have an optimal life. Exactly. And that's another thing that I've really looked at. Like, for example, I'm probably going to sell my Threads of Fate tarot deck because I love their Shadow Oracle so much. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get the deck. But the deck is beautiful and meaningful and like gender neutral and all this other stuff. But it's not for me because to me, I want to see the Empress look like a pregnant woman. Or the Empress, to make like my favorite Empress is Tarot of the Divine, and it's the Virgin Mary. It's the Guadalupe, right? Exact mother. It speaks to me, connects with me instantly. Deep, resonating connection. But a picture of like, I can't even remember what it is. Beautiful, but it's not deeply moving. It doesn't speak to me the way that it does. So that will be happening soon. I'm going to get rid of those. But then it's like, I have to get rid of that. I have to go through that. I have to go through all of that. I have to go through that. I'm going to empty this corner. And so then I get kind of like overwhelmed. So I'm going to work on it. But long story short, I want to connect with you guys. How is your practice changing? How are you evolving as you get older? The more that you know and the more that you practice and the more you connect with other people, what is that looking like? And again, this is an open space. So like maybe you're really down with very strict traditional Gardenian or Alexandrian work and you have a coven and that's what you do and you think that that's the best way and that's awesome. That's wonderful. Or maybe you are a Catholic folk practitioner and that's the vibe for me. Or maybe you just curious, or maybe it's not for you at all, but you like hearing about it. Or maybe you believe in positive thinking and affirmations and manifestations, but you're a devout Christian or Muslim or whatever. I want the space to be really open and for dialogue. But no matter who you are, scarcity mindset affects you. And challenging seasons in our life can bring us down. And I want you to know that it's going to be okay. Is it going to be okay for everybody all the time? No, I wish it was. Sometimes I get real stuck thinking about all the cruelty. It really weighs me down. And it's a shit show out there. It's a dumpster fire. And so you have to try and find the beautiful things uh, while you're also trying to navigate a dumpster fire. So I see you. That's really hard. There's a lot of bad things to focus on out there. There's a lot of bad people. There's a lot of good people too. A lot of people doing their best. So we just have to lean on each other. Huh, Piccolo Pete? What is it that you want? He's like, I want to go to our recliner and watch my brother play games. That's where we usually hang out, is on my recliner. So he's not familiar with this room at all. I don't even know if he's been in here except for when my mom's brought him in here because this is where she was sleeping. Yeah, I think that's it. What? Have you been in this room? Did you come in here with Mama? Did you come in here with Mama? Yeah. Ooh. So, ow. Ow. Come on, Bubba. Stay tuned, please. If you're interested in decks or books, I can't promise when the rest of the stuff will be up. I mean, God, I hope soon, but I can't promise. I'm sorry. But the decks and books, I can take pictures and I can put them on the my Facebook page. And those will just go out as they go out. I think there's some journals too, but I honestly think that I got rid of the journals last year when I was going through them. And then I got a whole bunch more for Christmas. So I really need to navigate that and let go of some things. Although I have been journaling daily. And so I am, about half of those are filled out journals that I just want to keep for the future. Do you want a nurse? Hold on. Hey. Hey. Do you want a nurse? Are you going potty? That was a very potty sounding grunt. I'm sorry, behind. I had to stop and write down things that you said. No worries. And of course, leave comments in the thing, or you guys are also on my Instagram. You can DM me. Hey, what would you like? Do you want your toy? I think he has to go to the bathroom. He's just started eating, and so whoa. So that's a transition. Anyway, what have you guys been thinking about with this eclipse and new moon? Oh, he bit me. And what kind of topics would you like to talk about in the future? Because I'd like to squeeze this in weekly. And I'd like to also do some blog posts about what I'm doing. Yes? You know what another really cool thing is? And I'm not going to elaborate on this because I'm running out of time. He's getting fussy. But like when I see my kids doing things that are maybe annoying or maybe, I don't know, something that I do that I don't like about myself, it really gives me good insight about some of my flaws, right? Whoop. So this one has FOMO. They both do, and I do too, right? If his brother, no matter how tired he is, and he's tired right now, which is why he's having he doesn't want to miss out because something's happening, because his brother's doing something, or because I'm doing something, or whatever. And I'm the same way. And so when I see these beautiful boxes coming out, and I'm just like, oh my God, maybe I'll just buy one more. And I'm like, because I'm not going to use it, because that's not for me anymore. I mean, they're beautiful, and I would love the things, and I would look at them, and then I'd end up selling them in like 6 months or a year. And so I have to stop doing that because it's just not where I'm at right now. But then I look at like so many things that are just like, oh my God, I want it. And so many. so much happening. And I'm like, God, I wish I could go see that movie. Or man, I wish I could go to Puerto Rico. Or oh my God, this trip to Japan is only $1,000 for 10 nights. I wish I could go. But no, I could go because I got a baby. Baby. I get to have a baby. I get to have a baby. I get to be your mom. So FOMO, but also picky eating has been a big one lately. It drives my husband insane, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. But also, don't you know that those foods didn't touch? Why should we have to tell you? And so that's another big one. And then I've been thinking about scarcity mindset for all of us. Like, hopefully he doesn't have any yet. Where like that there's not enough because he gets all of it from us, right? He's always held, he's always fed. But even my little boy, my 8-year-old, is getting some things. Like he has to go to school and he has to do extracurriculars, and sometimes he feels the pinch of not having enough time. Or a lot of times he feels the pinch of not having anybody to play with or close friends. And just that there's definitely a lack there. There's definitely a loneliness there. And then, of course, my husband for time. My husband's the kind of person that he has an idea in his head, and come hell or high water, he wants to ramrod through it and just make it into reality. And you cannot do that with our children. We just can't. We like you cannot work outside for 12 hours. I'm tired. You have to come get this baby, or I'm gonna lose my mind. Would I say this to my best friend? Exactly. I do ask myself. Yes. Or would I say this to my children? Should I say this to my children? What? Oh my goodness. Hi. Okay. All right. We're going to go. I hope to connect with you guys soon. Kind of stay tuned to the Facebook page if you're looking at decks. Again, these are not going to be the decks that I bought wholesale. I mean, I do have some of those still. A lot of these are like collector decks, so they're not going to be super cheap. So just kind of glance at them. If it's been looking for it, then it'll be there. The books are mainstream books for most of the time, and that would be media mail as well. So just check it out if you get a chance. Hopefully, I will get on here again soon, and then thank you. And then what was I saying? Oh, and someday I'll write blog posts and I'll post it so you guys can check it out. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you're having a good day. I hope it's nice weather. I hope you get a hug from somebody and eat something delicious and get a good amount of sleep and hear a baby laugh. All right. Love you guys. Bye.